Hello and welcome everyone to the Third Men Cricket Podcast. It's been a long time, a long hiatus since we did our last episode almost a year ago. Both me and Ravi have been busy with various work commitments and otherwise as well that has kept us occupied. But we thought it's worth the wait now since we are leading into the Border Gavaskar Trophy, which is going to be held down under in Australia. So no better reason than that to just get back on track and love what we do. And that is speaking about this wonderful game of cricket. Just to start off, my colleague Ravi is still a bit busy with certain things. So I'll be taking care of this episode, which is going to be the 50th episode of our Third Man Cricket podcast. And like I said, life has come a full circle for us because we started this channel right when the last Border Gavaskar Trophy ended in Australia in 2020-21 season, following that spectacular victory by the Indian team, which leads us into this series, which is going to start tomorrow in the Western Australian city of Perth. So we're just going to straight jump into this and do a preview of the series and present our thoughts with respect to what we can look forward to and get towards some lip smacking test cricket in the land of the kangaroos. So just for some factual time, that this is going to be the eighth Border Gavaskar Trophy that's going to be played in Australia. First ever was played in 1999, and the seven series that have been played so far down under have been won by Australia four times, twice by India in the last two visits, and one series was the draw, which was that series in 2003 2004, which was also the farewell series of Stephen Waugh. And what makes this series more intriguing is that the last two times, like I mentioned, India has won the trophy in the Australian backyard, and Australia have not got hold of the Border Gavaskar Trophy for the last 10 years. The last time they won it was at home in 2014-15. And ever since then, two series have been played in Australia and two series in India, and all of them have been won by India. So, with a lot of that team in the last phase of their careers, this is one box they would like to tick. On the other hand, the Indians would like to make it a hat trick of series wins, which is seldom achieved by touring teams that get to Australia. One can only remember the almighty West Indies team of the late 70s and the 80s doing that in Australia, followed by Graham Smith's team, which won three series in a row in Australia and sort of became the best traveling team of that period. This has certainly turned out to be a marquee series in the last decade or two, we must say, because seldom do we get to see high quality test cricket um, in this day and age. And these two teams have provided such gripping contests, both home and away, that it undoubtedly remains the most watched and the most look forward to watching test series in modern day cricket. There's a lot at stake for both the teams. Nonetheless, the thing that is mostly at uh, stake is the place in the World Test Championship final in 2025. Both of these teams did participate in the last final in 2023, which Australia won, and both of them still look forward to qualify again for that all important clash that's going to be held for the first time in Lords next June. We will start off this episode with a preview of the Indian team, who is been licking their wounds from a 3-0 reversal back at home against New Zealand, which was not on expected lines, and it came as a shock for most people across the cricketing landscape. Uh, seldom do you see India lose a test at home, which has been the case in the last decade and a half, let alone a series whitewash, which has happened for the first time in history when India has played a test series of three tests or more. And the discussion among all the cricketing pundits has been how badly the Indian team played, but very few are giving the credit that should be given to the New Zealand team, which rightly won that series because they out batted, out bowled, and outfielded India across all those three test matches. And the Indian team were left a lot to ponder with after that debacle, which was uh, not seen coming, basically. And one would have to question the wisdom of the team management to again think of playing on such kind of pitches where you have not got the desired results in the last 5 or 6 years, and your batsmen have also struggled. And this is a generation which struggles to play spin bowling even in their own backyard, and that has come to back as bite. Sorry, bite is back, as they would say, in no uncertain terms. And we have been getting bailed out by the lower order or, you know, some individual brilliance for the last 5 or 6 years, but time had to eventually catch up. And this will also give a good perspective for the team to uh, have a look at themselves in a hard manner, and they would decide how they want to progress playing at home going forward. Uh, I was also surprised that they won a series against England just earlier this year, and after losing that first Test match in Hyderabad, they went back to traditional Indian pitches, which would be very good for batting on the first 3 or 4 days, and then eventually start spinning. And I don't know why don't they understand that playing on such kind of rank turners would bring the opposition spinners also into play, and the spinners which are actually half good as the Indian spinners also start to becoming lethal on such kind of pitches. But anyhow, that's a topic for another day as we look forward to the Border Gavaskar series. And so India have assembled a large squad, as you would expect when you're traveling such a long distance. The latest addition of Devdutt Padikkal, it has become a squad of 19 members, and the talking point has been what's going to be the playing 11 for that first test match that's going to start tomorrow at the Optus Stadium. Starting with the top order, we all know that Rohit Sharma is not going to be available for this first test match. So that left the selectors and the team management to decide between KL Rahul, Abhimanyu Iswaran, and Yashasvi Jaiswal. Jaiswal is definitely going to play, and the moot point was whether it's going to be Rahul or Iswaran. KL Rahul has been, having middling returns in Test cricket and has been very lucky to survive so far in the Test team, having made his Test debut almost a decade ago in Australia, showing promise as an opener. Someone who has played more than 50 Test matches to average less than 35 and still getting chances. Uh, he has to consider himself lucky with the kind of talent India has at their disposal. So that's the pick that the team management has gone with, which has personally made me very, very sad in the sense that you should at least be giving chance to Abhimanyu Ishwaran to fail. He was part of the squad in the 2021 tour of England as well, and when the likes of Mayank Agarwal, Shubman Gill were not available to play the test matches as they were injured, he was again, sidelined, and KL Rahul was given the chance to open. That's a different issue that he made most of that opportunity and scored some valuable runs in that series. But having said that, Abhimanyu has proved his mettle in domestic cricket and scored tons of runs and basically knocked down the door and got into the team. But if you're not going to give a chance to the player by simply saying that he doesn't look the part or he doesn't play well in the nets and we don't think that he's going to play good in the center, well, you can't be having that perceptions about certain people, then that's going to be a very, very uh, damaging thing for all those cricketers toiling it out in the Ranji Trophy, who would think that what's the use of us, scoring so many runs and earning our place in the team. If you're not going to get opportunity, at least you should get an opportunity to fail. And I would have given at least the first two test matches here to Abhimanyu Easwaran, again, provided Rohit Sharma was not fit. In this scenario, we know that Rohit is going to be back for the Adelaide test match. So I would have given him a go in Perth. Not the most easiest of conditions to make your test debut, but if you have been chosen in the squad as a reserve opener, and when one of the frontline openers is not available, then it becomes your right to get a chance at the playing level. But in all, what do you call fairness and the news that we have been getting from the WACA, it's going to be KL Rahul is going to open with Yashasvi Jaiswal. And unfortunately, Shubman Gill also uh, broke his thumb uh, in the practice session, so he's not going to be available at number three, which has further worsened the chances of the Indian team as far as putting out a full strength 11 is concerned on the park. So reports are emerging that it's going to be Devdutt Padikkal, who's going to be given a chance at number three, who played a couple of handy knocks in the India A games and has so far played one test match for India against England. It was the fifth and final test match in that series in Dharamsala earlier this year, and he gave a good account of himself by scoring a half century there. Looks a compact player. Um and again, he's been parachuted right into the playing 11 over there. So the team management is again going on the hunch. Let's see how he performs. Usual suspects at number 4 and 5 were Virat Kohli and Rishabh Pant. Much will hinge on how they perform. Being the senior statesman, this is, I think, the fifth Test tour of Australia for Virat Kohli, and he would like to, shun the woeful run that he's been having since 2019 in Test cricket. And Australia is a place which has given him great memories. So he would like to get going and start the series on a good note in Perth, and would like to take a lot of heart from the innings that he played when India last played a test match over there in 2018-19. Although India lost that test match, but he played a high quality knock of 123 at the Optus in difficult conditions. And Rishabh Pant, we know, is going to be the X factor for this Indian team. And he is going to be that one batsman that the Aussies will literally fear because of what he can do and how rapidly he can change a game of Test cricket within a session or two. And they don't need more evidence than what he did in the last series over there 4 years ago in Sydney, followed by the epic win at the Gabba. Number 6, KL Rahul would have been playing there if first choice 11 of India was available, but they have a couple of options in the form of Sarfaraz and Dhruv Jurel. And I got to see a bit of Jurel's batting in those uh, two innings that he played in the India A game, and looked by far the most settled batsman and full of confidence. Was very confident on the front foot and the back foot as well. And he's likely to get a shoe in. And I think time has come for the management not to view him as a wicketkeeper batsman, but as a pure batsman as well. Because I don't think he's going to get the wicket keeping gloves anytime sooner from Rishabh Pant. And we saw that once Rishabh was fully fit, he was brought back into the Test 11, his most yielding format as far as his career is concerned. And we all know what Dhruv Jurel has done in the limited chances that he got in that series against England. Played a couple of match-winning knocks and was very impressive in his decision-making skills and high-quality wicket-keeping as well. It remains to be seen how he progresses as a fielder, which also is, again, a bit of hard luck to Sarfaraz. Just a couple of test matches ago, he played that wonderful innings of 150 in Bangalore and almost, got India a significant lead that New Zealand might have chased in the fourth innings, but for that collapse after he got dismissed. And There has been a lot of heavy criticism on Sarfraz in the following two test matches when he failed, which is very surprising because everybody in that lineup failed in those test matches in Pune and Mumbai. So why he was being singled out is, you know, a question for the team management. And again, that battle of perception that his game is not suited to bouncy, seaming, and swinging conditions. Give a chance to fail. Simple as that. You know, similar to what I mentioned for Abhimanyu Eastman. If push comes to shove and Sarfraz needs to play, give him a go. At least give him a chance to fail. Give him a couple of test matches whenever the need arises. But just do not erode the confidence of the youngster again because he is another player who has just broken the door open via tons of runs and consistent performance in domestic cricket. Which leads us into the bowling attack. When it comes to the spin department, India has got three spinners in there. Kuldeep, sorry, not Kuldeep, but um, Ravi Ashwin, Ravi Jadeja, and Washington Sundar. I would have loved Kuldeep to be on this tour, as we know that his spinners can be quite handy in Australian conditions. Uh, it remains to be seen which is the lone spinner that India picks up for the Perth Test match. I say the lone spinner because that's what we are hearing from the reports. If I had my way, I would play two frontline spinners as it is. Ravindra Jadeja in overseas conditions has been playing as a batting all-rounder because his batting has come up by leaps and bounds in the last 5 or 6 years. And Ravichandran Ashwin as the frontline spinner, I cannot fathom the fact that somebody who has more than 500 test wickets can be thrown out of the playing 11 just like that and not respect respected and given that place in the playing 11. The one just has to see the bowling record of Nathan Lyon at the Optus Stadium. He averages 18 over there in 5 test matches. So that gives you some food for thought. Um, I play Ravindra Jadeja as the batting all-rounder and one who can, bowl some tight overs as well when you have to give some rest to the quicks. And Ashwin can be that attacking spinner. And we all know that he has some kind of wood over the likes of Smith and Labuschagne from the last series in Australia and also when they played in India in 2023. So that's always going to present them with a different challenge, coupled with the number of left-handers in their top 6 or 7, with the likes of Khwaja, Travis Head, and Alex Carey being in there. But news are emerging that India are likely to go with a fourth seamer in the form of Nitish Reddy, who is a virtual greenhorn as far as Test cricket is concerned. And he has a very limited record as far as first class cricket also is concerned. He's not played many matches. And he's one player that's purely been picked on potential. I again was very surprised when Shardul Thakur was not picked for this role because the man has done nothing wrong and has given splendid performances, done the hard yards. He's a man you would like to take to battle along with you because he's one player who's going to leave everything out there on the field and do whatever the captain demands of him. He has traveled to the Sena countries, specifically Australia, South Africa, and England, and he has taken wickets, given super performances with the ball and with the bat as well. We all know what he did in the Gappa Test. He had a series-winning partnership along with Washington Sundar. He's taken a 7-wicket haul in South Africa, scored valuable runs over there, scored half centuries in England, and picked up wickets over there as well. And it was very surprising that when in the press conference before departure to Australia, a specific question was asked of Gautam Gambhir in there about the non-selection of Shardul Thakur, and he just mentioned it was time to move forward and look ahead. It was a very surprising answer because Shardul is what, 31 or 32, and that is the age when international cricketers tend to peak. It's not on the wrong side of 35 that you start looking at the future. You can still keep grooming players like Nitish Reddy under his shadow, but I was very surprised that he was not picked. If your only focus is to make sure that Nitish is picked so that he bowls 8 to 10, 12 overs per day so that he can give the main quicks a rest, then that job can be done by Ravindra Jadeja as well. He can bowl tight 8 to 10 overs. Excuse me. And do a better job with the bat as well and give you that left hand option with the bat as well. So I've always been of the opinion that you play your best bowlers irrespective of the conditions and they'll do the job for you. Which leaves us with the question of the three frontline quicks. Jesse Bumrah selects himself the most valuable player along with Rishabh Pant in this playing 11, I would say, and one other player that the Aussies fear along with Rishabh Pant is Jasprit Bumrah. He's going to be captaining the side in the absence of Rohit Sharma. Uh, and there's been a lot of talk about how he captained that one solitary test against England in Baston in 2022, which was the fifth test to complete that series, and how England chased down 380 in the fourth innings and his captaincy came unstuck. For heaven's sake, that was just his one test as a captain. And we all know that he's got a solid cricketing brain and one that will hold him in good stead when he tries to captain. My only concern is normally we see with bowling captains that they either over bowl themselves or under bowl. So how Bumrah manages that workload along with strategizing on the field remains to be seen, and there is no doubt that he's going to lean on the likes of Virat Kohli, Ravichandran Ashwin, Rishabh Pant, Ravindra Jadeja, the senior pros, to discuss tactics and carry him through various phases of the games, which might see the Aussies dominating, which is bound to happen. Mohammad Siraj will be the second seamer and the understudy to Bumrah in the bowling attack. And life has sort of come a full circle for Mohammad Siraj because he made his debut in that last Border Gavaskar Trophy in Australia in 2020-21 by making his debut in the Boxing Day Test match and immediately impressed everyone in that series. And from then on, he's been performing very well in Test cricket. But of late, he has been off the boil and he might want to prove his detractors wrong as well. And this is a perfect opportunity for him to just stand up and be counted, knowing that in the absence of Mohammad Shami, he has to provide that extra teeth to the bowling attack and strike that vital blows. And finally, that leads us into the question of who's going to be the third seamer for India. And they have three options in there: Akashdeep, Prashid Krishna, and sorry, which was the last player? Harshit Rana. Yeah. Uh, Logic would say that Akashdeep, who has performed very well in the limited chances that he has got against England and New Zealand at home, should be given the first go. Reports are emerging that they're looking at either Prashid Krishna or the other seamer, Harshit Rana, who sort of hit the deck and get that bounce out of the surface. Uh, and it's very easy to say that, bowlers who hit the deck and generate the bounce can be very successful at Perth. Uh, but logic proves otherwise because visiting bowlers can sometimes become very, very excited and get carried away by seeing that pace and bounce in Perth and seeing that bounce and the ball thudding into the keeper's gloves. They try to, pitch the ball short and try to intimidate the batsman, but it is the bowlers who are going to pitch the ball up and make the batsman play that are going to reap rich dividends in a place like Perth. You seldom do get LBWs because of the bounce at the Wacker or at the Optus Stadium. So it's the ball that's going to be pitched up that's going to yield results, and most of the wickets are going to come behind the wicket, either caught behind by the wicket keeper or in the slips. Uh, just a fact that the only Test match that India have won in Perth in 2007 2008, the man of the match was Irfan Pathan, who was not exactly known for his pace and bounce, but swing. So he rattled the Aussies with his swing in that particular test match and got vital breakthroughs. Um, my personal choice would be Akashdeep to start off with, but wouldn't be surprised to see either Prasad or Harshit in there, uh, who's been picked out of the blue, being part of the playing 11. All in all, um, you know, whatever 11 India picks, they have to, make sure that they get the runs on the board. That's going to be more important because if you don't get at least 300 in your first innings, then it's going to be a difficult task. And that's been the modus operandi by Australia when they play in Perth, specifically, that they try to outbat the opposition and then apply pressure. And as days progress, with the kind of heat that is there in Perth, the cracks widen up on the pitch, and then it becomes very difficult to bat in the third and the fourth inning. So that first innings for both the teams is going to be absolutely crucial as we speak. All in all, a very exciting prospect to look forward to. And as they say, well begun is half done. So India will look to start off with a bang and in a confident manner. That's it for this episode. We will uh, preview the Aussie lineup and then look ahead to the series of remaining four test matches and also give a series prediction as to what we think here at the Thermal Cricket Podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you soon in the next episode.